everybody. We're live now on my YouTube channel for the first time for a long time. So I'm here at a SuperCar Austin event. We're talking as I've been asked to be a guest speaker. So this is going to be just kind of off the cuff. I just figured I'd stream it for you guys. And hopefully the audio is pretty good. And hopefully you guys can enjoy this little quick recap. And it's just going to be a long form. I'm just going to let the camera sit up here. So if you get bored, skip around if you want or not. Or go check out some of the other videos on my channel.
Two-minute warning, bud. All right. Building, you're in seat number 2. Next to me, I'll be in the far left. Okay. I'm right next to you. You and I are going to share a mic. The other two will stand for a
Hello everyone. Thank you all for coming out tonight. This is a great turnout. We didn't expect this many people, this many supercars. I'd like to introduce to you, once again, the Speed Mayor, Les Kaiser. Woo! Yes. Here we are again.
No kidding, Adnan, you did it again. This is crazy cool, but look at these names that are collecting and joining us. A lot of these guys already know in the brands, but why don't you give them a quick introduction? There's quite a few here.
Yeah, no, of course. So obviously, big shout out, Austin Supercars and Exotics. That's all of us. You guys did this. Thank you to every single one of you for coming out. We have, believe it or not, 60 supercars out tonight. This is one of our biggest events so far, in a 5-day notice, so that's amazing. Then, the Exchange Network, official partner, media agency. Thank you to everyone from the Exchange Network for coming out. Bespoke Paint Protection, our main sponsor tonight, as well as Black and Rounds. Thank you guys for sponsoring the event, for supporting this, for making this possible. Big shout out to Ryan from Superstition for giving us this amazing venue. Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan. I think we have a new party spot.
Yeah. No, this is great. Just the lighting, like, boom. And then obviously ATX Exotics always coming out. Appreciate you guys. We have the Speed Mayor. Who is that? There we go. Thank you, Les.
It's my parole officer.
By the way, Les put together the entire panel, which we're about to witness. So thank you. Big time shout out to Les for that. WMK Systems. You guys have all seen the simulator tonight. If you haven't had a chance to test your Formula 1 skills, Kota, please go for it.
You know what? There's some legit racers up here. Let's stir up one up on the balcony. Already challenged him. He's going to get out there and see who can beat him or if he can beat anybody. He's kind of old. Papa Bear Dalai is here. And so, yeah. So I really do want y'all to go get us that simulator. We'll get wrapped up here. And we're going to see if you can beat any of our panel or the big man. So run with it.
Yeah, no, we have the contest set up, so whoever wins it will announce the winner at the end of the panel. Gets a Lewis Hamilton signed car, which we were not able to give out last time because we didn't track the times properly. But everything's going well tonight, I was told. Right, Paul? Yes, we're tracking tonight. Okay, so we have a Lewis Hamilton signed F1 car going to be given out at the end of the session.
Not real scale life.
Yes, I'm sorry, I should have added that. It's not real scale life. I'm sorry, we don't have that type of
We won the
budget.
Red Bull last time, come on.
Yeah, I know. And
We
then
won the Red Bull last time.
Oh, I don't know. Finally, we have Crown Tauro. They came all the way from Houston. They're a Lamborghini group from Houston. They came out. All right, thank you so much. You want to say anything real quick?
My name is Jaleel Johnson, but everybody call me Lambo Boss Man. And I'm from Houston, Texas. And in Houston, I run my own Lamborghini social club called the Crown Turbo, which I started in January of this year.
Hey, one of these things that you've never been over to Houston for a Cars for Coffee or some of these events, I've been over there, and it is absolutely phenomenal. You cruise in, and I'll say it's a great welcoming cruise. Thanks for joining us over here.
All right, this is all you now, so take it away. Thank you for creating this amazing panel. Have fun.
We are going to have some fun. We might tell some stories. Maybe a few lies too. Alrighty, folks. I'm really excited. We start off with a bit of sadness. I'm going to tell you where it's going. Ken, come on up, bud. I lost my parents both to cancer some time ago, but and quite honestly, a lot of y'all rallied around me when I lost my father. My buddy here, Ken Adams of Uritas here, I was around him when he was fighting his. He won it, he beat it, and I had the opportunity. He knew how I felt about it, and what I'm doing nowadays. I sold the Speed City broadcast business, but I turned around. I'm back to my sports car love, my community, and back to the charity work. And so Ken approached me, so I'm going to let him make this announcement.
Thanks, Les. So, thank you for the opportunity to talk a little bit about our organization. It's called Your Ride Is Here. It was founded in 2009, and it provides transportation to folks going through cancer treatment, free of charge to them. What we usually do is we'll get them to treatment in any car possible, because if you miss a treatment, delay a treatment, your chance of success drops dramatically. What we like to do, and the fun part about it is, when you go out in the parking lot and look at all the nice cars, that's the cool part. We've taken part of that into our program, and we give rides in supercars, luxury cars, muscle cars, vintage cars, whatever a person has in mind. And what it does for that person, it changes the trajectory of their treatment. All they talk about is the ride in that car. So if you guys remember the first time that you started your dream car, or you watched it come down off the transporter, or you were there when they unveiled it and you drove it off the showroom, that kind of excitement times 10. And I see some folks in here that have been on rides with us. It literally takes about an hour of your time, but it just changes the momentum of somebody's treatment. So that said, I encourage you to go out and look at our website. It's called yourrideshere.org. And we have one more really special announcement. So, a dear friend of mine, I've known him, I think we said almost 20 years now. We've battled cancer diagnosis and treatments and friends and family going through it. And we are more than thrilled and excited to announce our organization's new vice president, you might know him, is the mayor, Les Kaiser.
You got it, buddy. Thank you, and glad you're still here. So, a lot of y'all have reached out to me seeing my different charity efforts, saying, let me know how I can help. I'm challenging you folks right now. I want to see a new surge. Your Riders Here is recovering from the pandemic. Not only are patients that have to get to treatment, but we need driver pools. And like Ken said, it's an hour. You don't have to plan it. You may get a text this morning going, hey, something just happened with transportation. We need this guy picked up in this area. His treatment's over here at Texas Oncology. And you get him there. And sometimes you do the round trip. If it works to your schedule, fine. I don't care if you're in your ragged pickup truck or one of these beauties. The number one thing is let's get them to treatment. Let's not miss that one treatment, because it really does tank their opportunity to beat this disease. So I really want to invite this crowd. Y'all enjoy driving. It changes that day, as Ken said. And quite honestly, just like the Make-A-Wish things that I told some of you about last time, it gives them momentum, it gives them hope, and it totally changes that one day for them. And so I hope you'll think about that. So I really appreciate it. It is something else. So let's go ahead and start the slides and you know, the shortest version. So that's my newest adventure. I hope you'll join me on it and help me make a difference in our community, quite really. The speed, sorry, at least I got through it without showing tears so bad this time. The speed seating mayor, the mayor came from, if you've followed international motorsports, Jonathan Green called me that on a broadcast, and it took a life of its own. So I'm quite pleased with that. Quite pleased that I know cool people like these all standing around in the room, and took a life. So after getting out of Speed City and re-aiming my heart back to the neighborhood and the community, Speed City Mayor is what it came to. And I thank y'all. By being here, you're supporting my charity efforts. It is not a charity of itself. I support other charities that mean something to myself and the motoring. Utilize my relationships from around the world to do events, MC, etc. And so I love that you guys are here. Let's do this. We're gonna have some fun. First up, what we're gonna talk about tonight are racers from your community. These are your neighbors. They're not far off, wild folks you never knew with giant deep pockets. Last time we talked about sponsorship, marketing, development. So you really get to have some fun with it. Our first guest, Fielding Shredder, is a long-time Texan. I'll say that, that's clear. Clearly that's stated. If you have watched Hyperdrive, the drifting competition that was on TV, the show series and everything, you saw Fielding. Fielding does these amazing things in his cars. I saw one of his driving partners here. Harrison Johnson is here. I've known Harrison since inception. Honestly, his father and I co-drove way back when. But anyway, he's Fielding is beyond. I mean, this is the guy that does incredibly skillful things. You'll see him on TV. You'll see things that he's not acknowledged in, things of that. But we're gonna have some fun with this, and just check that out. We're gonna find out a little bit about drifting, how he got there.
Thanks for having me.
And like I said, good man down the street here. Come on up. Alrighty, I don't know if it's entertaining when I pick on Bill Dollahite, but he's got a fantastic son here. Scott Dollahite, come on up, bud.
Go, Scott.
So I've known Scott since we called him Scotty. We don't do that so much anymore. Not too much. Scott grew up, I mean, karting at 5 years old, legitimately, not the yard cart, your dog, you know, kind of thing. He got into it, excelled. This is the guy you call when you have an open spot on your team where you need an ad hoc racer that can come on, grab onto the wheel, controls, and run. He has done some amazing racing. I'm wanting to go to Mexico and see what it is. He does cross borders to race for folks. Like I said, started out in karts, played in little ones, got into just continuous the path. If you've heard the path to professional racing, he has done that. SCCA Pro, IMSA, but I mean, seriously, this guy's a champ, and he's a local. Next up, you may know this guy for one place, the Petrol Lounge. But what you may not know is he's more than a purveyor of cool storage facilities and sites. Randy Whitten, another fantastic guy to know around. Again, has driven about everything, and I'm one of the co-founders of I Hate Randy Club. And that's because all the time, hey, you know, what'd you drive this week? I mean, now we turn into children just begging Randy for stories and having that opportunity to hear what he's got to play in this week on the racetrack, on the street, whatever. But anyway, that's our panels. I want y'all to enjoy the evening. It's going to be a lot of fun, silliness. I'm going to circulate out here. If y'all have a question, just remember, I'm going to give you a chance to ask your questions and just get with it. So let's start off with building. So buddy, you've played in all kinds of things, and one of the things that I love is you've driven straight, curved, and slid sideways at both. How did you just begin this? Share your precipice for all of this.
Yeah, so you know, as every young adult growing up, you see race cars on TV, you think, wow, that's the coolest thing, I want to do that. And so I was, you know, getting into street racing and other things I shouldn't be doing in my younger years.
Listen to this, buddy.
And then I saw
Mom
a
and Dad,
video.
get check them out.
Yeah, I saw a video of drifting, and it was a Japanese drifter before drifting really was even popular in USA, and I was like, wow, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I had to try that. So I bought that exact car. It was stock. It was a piece of junk. You know, I got it on eBay for $1,000, but me and two other friends bought them, and I lived in Houston at the time, and it rained almost every day this summer, and we were driving around like idiots, all on the streets, every corner we would try and slide. And by the end of the summer, I was the only one of my friends who didn't wreck his car. And so I was like, oh, maybe I got a knack for this. Maybe I should try this. And so, yeah, I just kind of decided that I wanted to pursue that. And I didn't know how. I didn't know what direction that meant. I didn't know how I was going to pay for it or even what modifications to do. But I was just determined that this is what I want to try. I really enjoy this, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to figure it out and make it happen.
He's doing quite well, as you can imagine. I get the opportunity to see him compete. You know, sometimes it's online for conflicts of my placement. And woo, there.
Can I talk about that?
Go talk about that, dude.
So, a friend of mine, Max First, has a camera car, and so he began his filming career filming me in a garage with a $500 camera, and that slowly blossomed into a full-blown camera car, which you can see in the corner here. And so occasionally I get lucky enough to be hired on a really cool project where I'm the driver in this rig, which has, you know, $150,000 camera set up on the roof, and it's got a passenger with a monitor operating the head, a passenger in the back operating the boom, and then another passenger operating the focus and zoom. And we get to go do cool commercials. This is an example of one. This is a RTR commercial where you can see jumping over drift cars while pyrotechnics are going off. And it's just one example. I've done a handful of other cool projects with them. We've done tailgate roads, and we've risked our life for all kinds of fun, amazing commercials that end up just on someone's cell phone for 30 seconds, which is kind of funny to me because they spend a ton of money. But you can see the rig there. You can see some of the cars. And it's just one of the ways that I have kind of made motorsports a career. You know, I don't have rich parents. I don't have a bunch of giant sponsors writing me six-figure checks. So I got to figure out how to not have a real job and not have a boss that's telling me what to do. And this is one of those things. So every now and then, about once a month, I'll get to drive the camera car and go do a project. And sometimes it's around the country, sometimes here in Texas, and just go have fun doing that. And so far, I haven't crashed.
Doing it right so far. I know, you know, okay, so all three of these guys, besides what we're going to hear about tonight, are extremely savvy racing coaches. And, you know, they talk about, you know, sometimes the coaches will tell you you don't know where the limit is until you pass it. That's very true. Next up, Scott Dolahide. Like I said, Scott was fortunate. Yes, he's our second generation driver. But I'll say it, his father's quite impressive. But what you don't know is it's not easy to race if you're not living by a racetrack. Well, through a lot of collaboration and things, his father and mother at the time, it was great that they had an opportunity to buy some ruddy land. Quite honestly. It had the start of a little party play track on it, etc. And you may know if you've been around the sports car life for long around. Austin was called Driveway Austin. And so that's the Dolahide legacy. It's pretty phenomenal, but what it really means is he had a place to go play on his car after school kind of thing. It made it really easy. So Scott, yeah, obviously, you know, Papa Bear was in the 333, but tell us how you got into it yourself.
Sure, yeah.
So first thing, thank you Anand for putting on this event. Give him a quick round of applause really quick. So I got started in racing obviously from my father. I was very fortunate in that aspect. So we started off with go-karts from 5 years old. And then I turned about 14 or 15, we went into specking out at the CPA. But the other fortunate part about my life is we built a racing championship here in Austin. So I actually was homeschooled for the majority of my life. So school was actually at the racetrack, which was great. So I started off racing in SCCA and spec Miata, Formula Mazda, and kind of like had this road where it was either go to open wheel cars or spec Miata, or GT cars rather. And I realized I wasn't going to make it in Formula One at an early age. I wish that I could, but I didn't. And so we went to the GT route, and again was fortunate enough to have backing where we could go on into the professional series. So I went into Spec Miata, MX5 Cup, and we went into prototypes and ended up racing semi-trucks in Mexico, which is...
Let me clarify that, because I find it quite humorous, but it's a real thing, and we'll probably see it up there. But so Scott crosses Texas-Mexico border to race in a semi-truck tractor cab in their racing series.
Yeah.
Wow. Those look like I'm going to just push them over if I wanted.
I mean,
tell us about it.
If you asked me when I was a kid if I wanted to race semi-trucks growing up, I probably would say you're crazy. But it's actually a lot of fun, believe it or not. It's 3-ton bumper cars, believe it or not. But no, it's in a series called SuperCars. It's down in Mexico. We travel all throughout Mexico, and we have a lot of the NASCAR drivers that are coming to come and race in that series. We had Paul Tracy actually came down and raced in the series as well. But yeah, it was a transition. Yeah, racing from the States going into Mexico. The aggression level, I would say, in Mexico was much higher than it is in the States. There's not too many rules. I don't know if y'all have seen a racing series in Mexico or not, but I would highly recommend looking it up because the entertainment factor is definitely very high. But I grew up with one of my friends, Paul Jourdain, and his brother, Michel Jourdain, was the IndyCar driver. They actually own the series down there in Mexico, and I helped Paul get involved in motorsports here in the States. And his dad actually offered me a ride down there back in 2018. So
That's it right there.
That is in Speedfest. Yeah, that's at Hermanos Rodriguez in Florosol. So as you can see, the crowd down there is incredible. The passion that the Mexicans have for the sport is inspiring. So I've been racing down there for the past 4 or 5 years and absolutely love it, to be honest. I just have to check my aggression level whenever I come back to the States.
That's a good way to put it. Randy Whitten, like I said, we talked about Randy and the I Hate Randy Club. That's actually a very loving thing. I'm going to put it on the shirt, but still.
I'm very humbled with the opportunities that come for me. So
he's earned them well.
I'm very, very humbled.
I mean, I have been out and around Randy a long time now, and it really is amazing cars. I'm sure some of y'all seen them. They're comparable to what you have out here. Some of them are, it's hard to say with that amazing parking lot full out there. Some of them are way beyond those. And this guy gets to go play it and maintain them and make sure they're exercised and things like that for somebody that might not be available to go do that for their own car or on his job at. So, Randy, let's talk about coaching, what you just did today. Randy is, and all three of these guys said, we're at another level. We've talked about the entries, how to get up to things. We're talking USF 4 for what these guys are coaching this weekend. These aspiring racers, whether they're young or more mature, this is a big deal. And it's not to be taken lightly for these guys to wind up racing for the group that are coaching for the group they are, because these are legit. They're not just people who go out and play on the weekend and can afford to rent an open wheel car and play, but Randy, tell us about Skip.
So we're going to talk a little bit about, there's different levels. We all teach for different organizations. We all teach at different levels, but then sometimes we sync up. And like this last week, for the last week, it was 5 days. It was 5 days. I don't remember how long it was. They were very long days, but it was very rewarding days. So it could be from 12-year-old kids up to, I taught as old as one in a Formula 4 car. And with their Formula 4 open wheel cars, 1,200 pounds, very light, but they have these brilliant kids. They move from karting up to Formula 4 because they want to be a road Indy, or maybe they're going to have that one champ. They didn't have that package and that future where they can get that funding to have that talent and progress the ranks. But anyway, listen to the question. This week we were at Skip Barber Racing School. They've been around for many decades.
Definitely into late 60s. I'm looking at, but yeah, late 60s. This was the iconic place you wanted to go. You had Skip Barber, you had Bob Monroe, who passed away recently. These are the two schools. If you want to go racing in the United States and do something more than turn left 4 times a lap, this is who you go see.
You go there, get your license, or provisional license, depending on which classes you do, and you can go up from there. And it's different than like going from ATV type of format where or driver education event, and you get a license to provisional through NASA. You can still go through NASA, and you can do that through those, or you can go this route through CCA, or you can go something else further. But some of these kids have aspirations even beyond that. Some of them want to go race in Europe for the rest of their life. Some of them want to race in IndyCar and compete to south of other. It's wonderful to work with each one of these kids and refine little areas, little things. And yeah, no, and it just I see brilliance in a lot of these kids in the future. There was this kid this week.
Yeah, let's hear it. I want them right there to hear this.
I have to say, you have to look up his name. It's Sebastian Wielden. You have to go in, and he was beyond that. So his second lap out, he's never ran the track before, so he goes out to do a 4 car, which he only started doing at the beginning of this year. Second lap in, he was at race pace. And that's in a racing series that they are tuned in. They've been racing for a year, 2 or 3, and the Skip Barber F4 series. At race pace, he was left last. And then he was at 3rd lap, and he really understood the track. Look him up, watch him in the races. They are broadcasting live as well on Skip Barber's Racing.
Folks, like I said, when we talked about this panel, I wanted to really make a personal and local connection. There are racers amongst us, and you know them. You can see them. You can cheer them on. You can see them on TV. You can come out to Circuit America, Harris Hill, any events around the area. These are legit racers, and they're showing us how to do it. There's a lot of blood, sweat, tear, and quite honestly, it's painful. Everybody looks at racing and what you do. It's easy to look at Sunday and see what they do on Sunday. The part that you don't see behind the scene, what a family goes through to accommodate having these guys get on track. Racing is not cheap in any sport. Karting is not cheap. Even so, by the time you get into a competitive level kart arena, you got some serious money. I have bought legit street cars for less than a lot of these families put just to set 1 season in a car. And so it's really something that's not taken lightly. You have a lot of folks that don't realize what's in, and so we're gonna talk about that a little bit. Building, back to you, dude. This is like I said, I've really enjoyed watching the building come up and blossom, and like I said, he's hitting the Hollywood set nowadays and shown on bigger and bigger screens all the time. So you got your junker car. You didn't crash it the first year. How did you transition into a legit drift car in a place that is basically a desert for drifters?
Yeah, so I think, with the passion and the commitment that I had to the sport, I just kind of just bullied myself through and made sure that I was going to do it. It was a long process. When I was starting drifting, there was no schools, there was very little knowledge, there was no Facebook or forums hardly. And when someone posts something, they didn't even know what they were talking about. So there's a lot of trial and error, and a lot of learning how things worked, and just being able to witness the progression of the sport is something that I find, looking back, very rewarding, because I got to go travel a little bit. I got to go see the pros from Japan come over here with their cars that are properly built and race them against the Americans, and they just slaughtered us. It was hilarious. We never even, not one person won. So watching that, getting in the pits, getting to look at all the suspension setup and some of the little things. We couldn't really ask them questions because they didn't speak English, but just figuring it out slowly, and then learning that developing this skill set is actually beneficial for all types of racing. So that's something I can appreciate now, doing it for 15 years, is now when I go race a car, or do rally, or do stadium super trucks, or any kind of racing camera car, anything that I get to enjoy now, I'm taking all of the skills that I learned in drifting and applying them. So I'm not trying to drift a camera car, but when I turn the camera car and the car starts to slide a little bit, I don't panic, and I know exactly what to do. I just, small correction, keep your eyes looking where you need to go, keep the throttle down, fix the attitude of the car and press on. And that's something that I think is really beneficial, and not something you get with a lot of other racing. Someone who's a racing driver is really good at racing until the car's sideways, and then they pretty much panic unless they've had proper training with the car being beyond the limit of grip. So that's something that I think is important.
Fantastic. Like I said, so much of what you learn on a slippery track or street actually translates into racing, and then the racing kind of feeds back to the street. It's a circular process. But there's a few people on our streets that don't appreciate the racers and what those of us that get to play on the streets. Well, I'm going to tell you to be careful, because Scott Dolahite has taught some of our law enforcement, our government folks. Scott, tell us how that came about. We thought you were friends.
Sure. So one of the things that we did at our school at Driveway Austin is we taught tactical training for Department of Defense as well as the Austin Police Department. And it was entertaining. It was, those vehicles are completely different than a race car, obviously. But what they have to do and what we have to teach them is turn the vehicle into a weapon, right? So with that, sorry. So with that, it becomes very dangerous, right? But we taught that for like 5 to 6 years, and learned a lot of cool things, actually. Yeah.
Are you able to get out of speeding tickets now?
No, I'm not. Unfortunately, I'll leave that to my wife. Yeah.
And that would be Miss Denise Dolahite, who, quite honestly, I think is a faster racer than her husband. But the next panel would make it her. Randy, man, so you two have. You can get out of the fifth maneuver. There you go. Randy, you've been in all these different cars, on legit tracks, running 9/10ths and things. Can you give us, take us for a ride in something amazing, and what's different about that ride and what are the vehicles you've been out in?
That's a pretty great question. That's just
Living options, buddy. I know you got to stack like firewood.
it is, but also it's always exciting every now and then.
So last time I was coaching was the FF812. I know you.
F12. And so that was during your Flurry Boston. That was actually I worked with a lot of you out here. There are a lot of faces and names. When Flurry Boston has their bigger track days, I'm invited to come out and instruct all the bigger customers at Coda. We have that track day 1, 2, 5 times a year. Depends on the year and availability. We can do at the track. We do that for Lamborghini at Austin. We did that once there. Or another bigger private event, we do that. So with that one in particular, I don't remember. I was in a lot of cars in particular. We did have, I think Jocko's money out there that we did. It didn't overheat. I think it did before. but other bigger cars. One of them, a local bigger owner, I worked with one of his friends. It was more of it was a VIP treatment to someone that I didn't know, or anything else, or any other person. But it was with the XX program, the 599XX. So there were 29 of these in the world. They had that for horsepower. And so I was trying to work with a 48 challenge car with the individual and working up to drive a 599XX Ferrari for 3 days. And it was really incredible because it was just angry. It was angry with how the car would do anything. You would beat the crap out of it, and it would do everything you held it to. I don't know how to describe it, or, you know.
There you go. Now you know why we have the I Hate Randy card.
Yeah.
But we do love him, quite honestly. It's a joke. You know, folks, I'm going to circulate here in a little bit. I want you to think about your questions. Let's ask them something that I'm not thinking of and that we haven't crossed paths with. So as we go, here we are. I got to ask building, because I haven't got to look under the hood of his most recent car. Tell us about your most recent. What makes it not a normal street car that we see sitting out here? I saw yours out here. Tell us about it.
So the one I've got out here is actually, it is my street car. It's mildly built. You know, it's made for drifting, but it falls under what we call a Texas Street Legal, which is a Lone Star Drift series. We've got a competitive series here where the engine isn't allowed to be highly modified, but somewhat modified. Suspension's unlimited, and we get to compete against each other. It makes for really great competition. And then my other car is the one that you guys saw in Hyperdrive. That's like a pro level car. So that one has been completely modified, tip to tail. I've done 100% of the modification myself, so I learned how to build it slowly, you know, just one weekend or one paycheck at a time, and just slowly upgrading everything that either broke on the track the weekend before, or that I felt like needed upgrading, so, or after a crash. Those are the three things that will require you to upgrade the car. So it's, there's nothing left that's stock. It is 100% modified. It's got a 2JZ engine under the hood, which is out of a Supra. It weighs 2,700 pounds with me in it, so it's pretty lightweight. It's got fully developed suspension from a company here in Austin, actually called SPL Parts, and it's got really nice brakes, good suspension, good nice body work. It blows fireballs out the hood, which is exciting. It makes 700 horsepower to the crank, so like 550 to the wheels. And I mean, it makes enough power to burn tires in one lap if I want to. So that's really the limiting factor, is how quickly I want to burn the tires up. And we try and make them last at least 2 laps, because when we compete, we do a 2-lap battle. And then we try and, depending on the car setup or the track, sometimes you can get 5, 6, or 10 laps out of a pair of tires. But that's the number one expense and the number one thing that I'm replacing on the car, besides rear bumpers.
There you go, there you go. It's fortunate. Like I said, I've known these guys a long time, very, very comfortably, very well known in the relationships. One of my proud moments, I come off the PA at Circuit of the Americas after commentating one of the sports car series, and I head over to the podium, and I get to see Scott coming up the podium steps, and it was like a source of pride for me. He's not my son, but I knew him when. I know Mom and Dad were proud. Scott, I remember that. I mean, really, like it was last weekend.
Yeah, I remember that too. Actually, it was right by track when we were starting to go up the stairs, and I remember talking to you and doing an interview, and it was, that was an incredible feeling. I was fortunate enough to win that race at Circuit of the Americas in 2017. Yeah. What an incredible experience. To win a race locally where your friends and your family are there is unlike any other racing experience that I've had. But it was a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie. We were a pretty low budget team, and we managed with any resource that we could, and that's really what it takes to be a racing driver, especially the kids that are coming up throughout the series. You have to be resourceful, and you have to be dedicated. to not giving up, right? No matter what the circumstances are, you don't quit until you get the result that you want. So yeah, it was a great experience.
You know, like I said, we keep talking about the skill set, the training, what these guys are doing, how to aspire and get there. Randy's talking about personal training for drivers on their way up. But one of the things that I really push, and I know all three of these guys do, are training your teenagers. You know that online, behind the wheel, you know, desk stuff that our 15 and 16-year-olds are getting now, I really despise it. Because you can read a book, you can read a page, all you want, but until you get in and go through that, you learn what happens when things go wrong, and then you learn how to recover or save it before it goes that way, is really huge. Randy, can you talk about the value of these, when these guys
It's
get up?
seat time, seat time, seat time. And that's pretty much every repetitive thing. No matter what you do in any profession, it's all about that seat time. Whether you're an accountant or a lawyer, you're knowing the particular system, and so you're working with the tools that you're given. But I also want to talk about your options to get that seat time. So you have certain things where, like Scott Fielding or myself, we can offer particular private coaching, but don't even think you have to go pick up your own car and rent out the full track for $75,000 for the entire day. You can divvy up and other groups. You can do an experience lap within a particular Ferrari or Porsche or even a McLaren, or you can rent from Autoline. You know, you can rent one of their cars and use that, so we can work with you with that, so you don't have to use your car, risk your car, brakes, anything else. Longhorn Racing Academy, we're also here locally. We have a bunch of cars. I have one of them outside, it's a 570 McLaren. I was out there at Harrison this morning working with a couple of individuals. We can get them seat time. We can actually get them used to their own new car to them, or even using one of our cars. There's other options out here in that community. There's Edge Addicts coming out. You can bring your own car out and have a bigger coach. You can either hire one or bring other instructors, and you get plenty of seat time out to start getting there because I'm learning it. But it's about learning and developing and getting that rhythm and
Randy just brought up something that I want to share. So, Harris Hill, founded by locals, it is in San Marcos. It is what we call a club sport track. When you talk about clubs and track, this is a place you go and learn. This is a place you practice. We want you to cut your teeth, start learning the basics, all of the track etiquette. And Harris Hill is a good place. Because quite honestly, you don't want to jump out and go to the Circuit of the Americas without some of this experience. It is an experience. It is an expensive situation to go to the Circuit of the Americas. Look, we've got cars going over 200 miles per hour. Bikes are doing 214 now. And motos. Some of them are going even faster than that. This year, it'll be interesting what they do in the spring again. So this is really big. Consider that. I've got a client that she wants into the automotive industry, so she got her first car, took her down there. Rod Metz instructed down there. He's one of the directors of Harris Hill. Bo Rice. You've got a fantastic collection of very experienced drivers here that will help specifically with teenage and younger drivers. And so I really want to impress on you to please consider that for your teenage drivers and friends around. But wow, folks, I hope y'all have enjoyed this evening. It's been a lot of fun. This is very different. I'm going to tell you, we got something really special, and I are working on for the week of the SGP. Stay tuned, and that's going to be extra special. I am hoping to pull some of my buddies in out of the paddock, and not the ones you really see on camera, but they've got the stories for it. Folks, thanks again. Thanks again to Austin SuperCars and Exotics and all the rest of our sponsors. Thanks, Superstition. Really enjoyed this venue. I'm coming back on another night. And thank you all for being here and supporting what we do around this and being part of this motor community. One last word. Thanks for, obviously, I reach out. I need something. The other day, I needed a pink car. I knew there was a pink i8 around, a BMW i8. 9 minutes after raising my hand, I got 4 people My phone is lighting up, my messenger's lighting up, direct connection back. We're setting up some stuff, but that's kind of one I'm keeping in my pocket for a little while. And so, absolutely. Thank you to the motoring community because y'all make it easy to do what I do for kids and for our folks battling cancer. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
All right, before everyone heads out, just want to let everyone know if you do have a white band on your wrist, that's a ticket to the night show in Superstition. Caspo is playing tonight, so whoever wants to stay for that is very welcome to stay. And then we will announce the winner of the simulator contest. Oh, and do we have an estimate? How many more contestants do we have? I think it's about 20 minutes and then we'll announce the winner for that. So, thank you very much.
hopefully that worked and you guys weren't too bored. I'm gonna end this video now.